The ultimate fight of UFC 315 between Belal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena has finally ended, and pros shared their thoughts on the clash.
And no!
You never let that belt out of your hands, coach. Bring that belt back and give it to Jack Della Maddalena. You hold that thing while you can be in the routine.
And no! Undisputed UFC!
Before the fight, Belal Muhammad expressed excitement about facing another opponent with a double-digit win streak, noting that a win would make it the third time he defeated someone on such a run. After Shaka was injured and Jack stepped in, Belal felt ready, having studied Jack closely and recognizing his toughness and refusal to give up. However, Belal believed Jack had never faced someone with his pace, striking, grappling, and movement, and was confident that this pressure would eventually break him. He knew his relentless approach and well-rounded skills would be too much for Jack to handle.
A double-digit winning streak, and he'll be the third guy after I get this victory that I beaten with the double-digit winning streak. And when I look at the guy and they told me Shaka was injured and they brought up Jack, I was like, oh, okay, let's go. I've been watching him, I've been paying attention to them, and one of the keys that you said, right? He doesn't have a give-up button. When I fought Leon, I knew that he was breakable, and I was like, oh, mentally he's gonna break, mentally he's gonna break. With Jack, even if he's down, he's still fighting. He's still going into the final bell. And I know that he's going to be in there. But the difference is he hasn't fought anybody like me. He hasn't fought anybody that pushes the pace like me, that can strike with you, that can grapple with you, that can wrestle with you, and move like I move. And I think that's where he's gonna drown.
Belal Muhammad confidently stated that Jack was stepping out of his comfort zone by facing him in the cage, likening it to going from the kiddie pool to the deep end. He emphasized that there would be no room for Jack to settle into the fight, set up his strikes, or find any rhythm in his boxing. Belal made it clear that he intended to impose his pace from the start, not allowing Jack to get comfortable. His goal was to find the breaking point, a moment where Jack would no longer be able to withstand the pressure. Belal also made it known that he wanted to prove he could dominate in any aspect of the fight, whether it was striking, grappling, or wrestling, and against any fighter in the division.
And for him, when he's in there with me and he tries to get comfortable, there's not going to be any time, any space for him to get comfortable, to use his hands, to use his boxing, to try to get his combos off. And my goal is to find that breaking button. My goal is to show them that I can do whatever I want to do with any of these welterweights in the division.
On the other end, Jack brushed off his opponent's trash talk, saying that's all he ever does, and that it didn't affect him. He made it clear he didn't have high expectations for anything Jack might say or do outside the cage. Despite that, Belal remained confident the fight itself would be exciting and deliver for the fans, showing that he was focused on the performance, not the pre-fight noise.
Belal in here earlier said that he thinks he's the best trash talker in the sport, so I'm just curious what type of heated lines you're expecting tomorrow at the press conference.
Yeah, he all he does is talk trash. So it's yeah, I expect whatever from him. It's going to be good.
Jack stated he would dominate his opponent the way Floyd Mayweather dominated Canelo, aiming to completely outclass him. His intention was to take control of the fight, teach a lesson in skill and composure, and elevate the performance to another level.
Okay, so you are known for being one of the best strikers in your division. Your boxing is incredible. But Belal has Canelo hands.
My coach said I got hands like Canelo. You saw that jab out there?
Yeah.
So what do you do with Canelo hands?
I'm Floyd Mayweather's ass. Take him to school.
Yeah, take him to school.
That's it.
Take him to space.
Kamaru Usman believed Jack Della Maddalena was always meant to fight for the UFC welterweight title. When Henry Cejudo asked if Jack could really compete with a well-rounded fighter, Usman quickly said yes. He praised Jack for staying calm during fights, saying that kind of mental strength was hard to break. Usman also pointed out Jack's determination, comparing him to fighters who kept getting up no matter how many times they were taken down, something that was frustrating for wrestlers. He saw that same never-give-up attitude in Jack.
Jack Della Maddalena is going to be fighting for the UFC welterweight title.
Do you really give JDM a shot against a guy that mixes his fighting?
I do. I absolutely do. He's so relaxed to where it's very, very hard to beat him, to discourage him from trying. There are some guys to where you can take down 50 million times, they're still going to keep trying to get up. And as wrestlers, we know how annoying that is.
Usman thought Jack could win if he stayed aggressive and used a mix of strikes. He said Jack didn't need to focus on wrestling or takedowns, just keep moving forward with different attacks. He praised Jack's composure under pressure, which helped him stay focused in tough situations. He pointed to Jack's fight with Gilbert Burns as an example, where Jack kept getting back up after takedowns and continued to fight, trying to shift the momentum.
The keys to victory for a guy like JDM.
He's just got to mix it up. When I say mix it up, I don't mean shooting him for takedowns. I mean, he's got to go forward and he's got to mix up his strikes. That's the one thing that I like about this guy. He's so relaxed. He sees the pressure come, he's able to sidestep or just kind of relax in there. In fights like the Gilbert Burns fight, Gilbert was winning that fight. Gilbert was taking him down, controlling him, but he never stopped trying. When he got up to his feet, he was able to land certain things to try to make him pay.
Darcy Vendy shared his thoughts on the fight between Belal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena. He viewed the contest as evenly matched. If Jack ended up on the canvas, he could have faced difficulties, but if the action stayed on the feet, Belal might have struggled to keep pace. Vendy believed the smarter approach for Jack was to focus on defending takedowns, rather than Belal trying to land them. In the end, Vendy backed his fellow Australian to come out victorious.
Taylor, you are the last guy to get your arm raised against him, and he's got an upcoming championship bout in the UFC. How do you think that goes? What's your prediction?
I think it could honestly go one way or the other. I think if it ends up with Jack on his back, he's probably going to have a hard time. And I think if it stays standing, Belal's going to get what's given to him. But I think the easier to execute game plan is definitely Jack defending the takedowns. I think Belal has a tangibly harder time getting that job done than Jack ever will. I reckon Australia's going to have it.
I think so too, yes.
Max Holloway brought up something he had seen online and wanted to point it out. He mentioned hearing that Belal Muhammad claimed he would show Jack Della Maddalena his Canelo hands and not go for takedowns. Max wasn't sure if the quote was real or just made up on Instagram, but said it had been circulating. He recalled that Belal or his coach had previously compared his hands to Canelo Alvarez's, even before his fight with Leon Edwards. Max said if Belal really planned to stand and box with Jack, it would be wild, because Jack had very clean and high-level boxing.
I want to point something out. If Belal, I don't know if this is fake, if I saw it on Instagram and somebody made it up, whatever, but then Belal say that he's gonna show Jack his Canelo hands and not shoot.
I was just about to say something about the Canelo hands.
Did he really say that?
I don't know if he said that, but I've heard, I don't know if it was him or his coach said that he got hands like Canelo.
Yeah, no, I know about the Canelo hand. This is like from like before when he was fighting Leon. Man. No, he said before Leon that he had hands like Canelo, but I'm not sure. I saw an interview somewhere on Instagram or Twitter or somewhere where it said that he's not going to shoot and he's going to show Jack Della his Canelo hands, and if he does that, That'd be kind of wild because Jack Della's boxing is really good, bro.
Yeah.
Really nice. You've
Jack
been
got
watching his
some-
fight. Jack got
crisp
some really
boxing.
clean boxing.
Max Holloway also commented on Jack Della Maddalena's boxing IQ, saying he saw him as a very smart and composed fighter. He described Jack as protective in his approach, not someone who took reckless risks. Max viewed him as a well-rounded and fundamentally sound boxer, someone who stuck to clean, efficient combinations like a true 1-2-3 fighter. He said it would be crazy if Belal chose to stand and box with someone like that.
You know, boxing IQ-wise, very smart. You know, very protective. You know, not crazy, not crazy risk taker. Like super found it. You know, like a 1-2-3 fighter through and through. So it'd be crazy. But what are you laughing about?
Ian Gary was confident that Belal Muhammad would beat Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 315. He said Belal grew stronger as the fight went on due to his constant pressure and gritty style. Gary described Belal as a hard-working fighter who pushed the pace and never backed off. He had seen Jack struggle against less skilled grapplers and believed Belal's high-level wrestling would wear him down. Gary expected Belal to finish the fight in the 3rd or 4th round if Jack managed to last that long.
Could I get a quick 315 prediction? Belal versus JDM.
Every minute that goes by, it puts Belal in a better position because he just is a workhorse. He's a grinder. He will grab a hold of you. He will be in your grill. He will make it ugly. He will slam you. He will just constantly be there. And I've watched Jack get ragdolled by people that aren't as good as Belal. And Belal is one of the best in the world at playing the game Belal does. And I think stylistically he gets his hand raised. And I think he gets a finish in the later rounds. I think if Jack can survive till 3 or 4, I think that's when the finish will come.
UFC heavyweight Curtis Blades also shared his thoughts on the Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena fight. He picked Belal to win and successfully defend his title. Blades emphasized Belal's experience, particularly in tough situations such as competing on a pay-per-view card at 5 a.m. as a significant advantage. He believed Belal's strong mindset and ability to stay focused under pressure could make the difference in securing the win.
Man, I'm gonna go with Belal. I think him having that experience, that weird fight night, pay-per-view experience, having a fight at 5 a.m. I don't think there's anything harder than that. So I think mentally he'll have the advantage and that'll be enough.
Lightweight fighter Beneil Dariush spoke highly of welterweight champion Belal Muhammad, stating that Belal doesn't receive enough recognition for his true abilities. Dariush believed Belal had a significant edge in grappling and was also strong with his striking. He felt that Belal could hold his own in stand-up exchanges with Jack Della Maddalena and had the complete skill set to compete effectively in every area of the matchup.
Bro, Belal is so good. Like, you have to, I think people need to start recognizing his skill set. I think he has an advantage, big advantage, I would say, in the grappling. And he's not really behind in the striking. Like, I don't see like anything wrong where he would struggle too much with the striking. His striking is just fine. I think he would be able to, stand in his own with JDM as long as he needs to.
Daniel Cormier highlighted the importance of Belal Muhammad defending his title by using the same pressure and tactics he employed against Leon Edwards, focusing on takedowns and controlling the fight. He noted that if the fight stayed standing, Belal could struggle. For Jack Della Maddalena, Cormier stressed that defending takedowns was crucial, recalling Jack's past difficulties against Basil Hafs. He emphasized that if Jack couldn't stop takedowns from Belal, he wouldn't win. Cormier expressed excitement for the massive 170-pound matchup and Belal's title defense.
This is a massive fight. Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena is a massive fight. There are two things that have to happen for these guys. If Belal Muhammad is going to be successful in his first title defense, he has to look and fight in the same way that he fought Leon Edwards. He's got to have a lot of pressure, he's got to secure takedowns, and he's got to keep Jack guessing. Because if Jack Della Maddalena is able to just stand and strike with him, Belal is going to be out of his element. But when he mixes everything together, the wrestling, the takedowns, the striking, he can fight anyone, and he really can overwhelm you. That is why he knocked out Sean Brady, and that is why he truly outclassed Leon Rocky Edwards. So Belal Muhammad has to be that full mixed martial artist, and the pressure has got to be very present. And for Della Maddalena, he's got to defend takedowns. There was a fight that Jack Della fought in the Apex, Basil Hafez, and he was losing had to have a very good third round to win that fight because Hafez successfully took him down over and over again. That can't happen. If that starts to happen against a fighter at the level of Belal Muhammad, he's not getting the job done. This is an absolute massive fight at 170 pounds. And honestly, I'm very excited that we finally get to see Belal Muhammad defend that championship.
Sean Brady shared his thoughts on the Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena fight. He mentioned that he's been supporting Belal ever since they fought, noting that Belal's success makes his own loss to him look better. Brady acknowledged that Jack is powerful and tough, but he believed Belal always finds a way to win and expected him to do the same in this fight. However, Brady also said that if Belal were to lose, he'd be willing to fight him again for a top spot in the division.
I've been rooting for Belal since he beat me, of course. The better he does, the better it makes my loss look to him, you know. He went out, he beat Leon, and now he's fighting Jack, which Jack's a super tough fight. I was getting ready for Jack for our fight before when I had to pull out, and I know how good Jack is, and Jack can knock anybody out in the world, but you can't bet against Belal. He finds ways to win, and I think he's going to win that one. And of course, I want him to be champion when we fight again. But if for some reason he does lose, I would fight him for a #1 contender. So yeah, there's options out there.
Former UFC champ Jamahal Hill shared his opinion on the Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena matchup, picking Belal to win. While he respected Jack's toughness and solid boxing, Hill pointed out that Jack struggled to get close to his opponents, which could be a disadvantage in this fight. He believed that if Belal maintained his range, Jack would have to work harder to land shots. This would allow Belal to utilize his strengths, control the pace, and incorporate his wrestling, making it a difficult fight for Jack.
No question, I gotta go with Belal Muhammad. Jack is a beast, and he does present some problems as far as with the boxing and things like that go. But I believe his one of his deficiencies is covering distance. I mean, closing the distance and closing the range. So I believe if Belal keeps a good distance in between, it makes him actually have to work to get to him. It'll make it easier for him to get. I mean, to get off into what he likes to do, which is make people work and put them in that blender work piece and with punches and then grappling.
UFC bantamweight fighter Corey Sandhagen shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Belal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena, expressing that he believed Belal would come out on top. While he respected Jack and enjoyed watching him fight, Sandhagen felt that Belal had the advantage in this matchup. He highlighted Belal's experience, well-rounded skill set, and ability to follow a smart game plan as the key factors in why he was picking Belal to win.
Yo, yeah, I forgot that one. Probably, I think Belal will win that one.
Okay.
I like JDM, but Belal, I think, will win that one.
Torres Finney shared his opinion on the fight, picking Belal Muhammad to win. He thought a lot of people didn't give Belal enough credit for how skilled and steady he was. Finney admitted that JDM was a strong puncher and had shown that in his big win over Gilbert Burns. But he pointed out that Belal had a more complete fighting style, especially with his strong wrestling and non-stop pressure. Finney said Belal was a better wrestler than both Gilbert and JDM, and he didn't think JDM could stop Belal's takedowns or get back up once he was taken down. He thought the fight would be similar to when Belal fought Leon Edwards.
That's a great fight. But I'm going Belal Muhammad. I think a lot of people sleep on Belal. He's really good overall. Yes, JDM has great boxing. Yes, he can put you out, as we saw, you know, even when he was down 2 rounds to nothing against Gilbert Burns, what he did. But Belal Muhammad, I mean, he's an all-around fighter. He's got the wrestling, his pace. I don't think he'll be able to stop those takedowns because, in my opinion, I think Belal Muhammad's a better wrestler than Gilbert Burns. I think Gilbert Burns is a better overall grappler, but as a wrestler, he's a better wrestler than JDM, and I don't see JDM really being able to get up. I can see this very similar to how it went with Leon Edwards.
Austin Vanderford shared his thoughts on the fight between Belal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena. He acknowledged Jack's strong boxing and well-rounded skills, but ultimately leaned toward Belal. Vanderford noted that while Belal often got criticized for his fighting style, his relentlessness and work ethic couldn't be overlooked. He expected Belal to push the pace, put Jack in uncomfortable positions, and wear him down over time. Even if his early takedowns were stopped, Vanderford believed Belal would keep coming and eventually overwhelm Jack as the fight went on.
I think Belal gets it done. JDM, great boxing, good overall fighter. But I think Belal goes out. You know, he gets a lot of hate by his fight style and stuff, but you can't deny how relentless he is and goes and works hard and puts you in tough positions. So I see that happening in this fight too. I think he, might get stuffed on the first takedown, maybe the second, but he's just going to keep coming. I think he ends up kind of drowning him.
Chepe Mariscal shared his support for Belal Muhammad in the lead up to the fight. He mentioned that they came from the same area and had even spent some time training at the same UFC gyms. That was when he first got to know Belal. Mariscal praised the hard work Belal had put into his career and noted that he was now the champion for a reason. He believed Belal would show up ready and do what it took to successfully defend his title.
I got Belal Muhammad, man. We grew up in the kind of the same area. We worked at like the same UFC gyms a little bit, and then that's when I kind of knew of him, and then just the work ethic he's been doing in the game, and he's obviously the champ, and I feel like he's gonna do his job and defend it.
Elijah Smith gave his take on the Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena fight and sided with Belal. He pointed to Belal's constant pressure and how much his striking had improved over time. He even felt Belal was doing well on the feet against Leon Edwards during their fight. Elijah believed Belal would bring that same energy again. He also mentioned that while people talked about Jack doing well against Gilbert Burns' grappling, he thought Belal had a different kind of drive, something similar to Khabib's that made him much tougher to deal with in a fight.
I think Belal. Yeah. I think Belal, his ongoing pressure, and truth be told, I mean, not even truth be told, but I do feel like Belal's striking has gotten a lot better. Like when he was when he fought Leon Edwards, I thought he was getting the better of Leon on the feet. So yeah, I feel like he goes out there and does the same thing, and he has that more. I think people talk about like Jack Della Maddalena fight with Gilbert, what's his name? Gilbert Burns, and they talk about the jiu-jitsu and how he was able to stop the jiu-jitsu and get back up to his feet. I just think Belal has more of that drive where it's like kind of like Khabib-esque, which is kind of harder to deal with.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.